In this session, we will show you how to build a stunning personal website with AI in 30 minutes using Bolt. And I have no one other than Gion-Per from BigMoves with me. I worked with him for over 10 years in my own business as my design team and tech help and all of that. And he's really good when it comes to this kind of stuff. He's been experimenting with a lot of AI coding tools, and Bolt is really powerful. So I'll make sure I'll link up that, but you can follow along in this session here. But to get things started, Gion-Per, why don't you tell us a little bit about what everyone can expect from this session if they stick around until the end? What are we going to build? And also share a little bit more about your experience here.
Thanks for the intro, Navid. Let me tell you guys a bit about myself. My name is Gion-Per. I grew up in Switzerland. I am living in Taiwan for about 20 years, so quite a while. And I know Navid for about 13 years, and we've been working very closely ever since. We've been building high converting websites and funnels, landing pages for many clients around the world. And we also been working closely with automations and of course these days also with AI and AI automations to simplify processes for clients. Today we're gonna cover how to build a personal website with AI in 5 simple steps. The tool we're gonna use for that is Bolt. Before we jump into Bolt, let's quickly review what we're gonna cover in the video. So first of all, we're going to have a good starting prompt, which I'm going to introduce to you guys in a second. Then I am going to show you how you can edit the sites. Once the AI has built the initial version, we're going to go on to the visual editor to make some edits. I show you how to make some edits through the code, simple text edits, for example, or a link edit directly in there. Then we're going to run a secondary prompt to animate the site to make it a bit more visual and engaging. And then we will be also deploying the site with one click. And then you can connect your own personal domain to it. So let's take a look at the starting AI prompt, which I've prepared for you. So we're going to use a good personal website, which we like in terms of structure. Which is in this case Ali Abdal. So of course you can replace this, and please keep in mind this is a starting prompt which you can alter and edit to your needs. Also feel free to use tools like ChatGPT, Grok, or any other preferred AI to basically make some tweaks to this. But this has produced pretty good results to build a nice one-page personal brand to the website. So I added here a little bit about myself, my name, and gave a little bit of information what can be used in the help sections, which I'm going to cover a little bit further down again, and also for the about section. Of course, you can add additional information in here if you want to. Then I gave it instruction how the structure should look like. So of course, he has the base information already from the Ali Abdal website, but I wanted to clarify certain things a bit more in detail. Keep in mind, as more detailed you are with what you're looking, as better is the outcome. So we're going to define here, okay, we want a menu bar with a logo, with menu items, and we want to have a CTA button as well. We want to have a hero section with a headline, sub-headline, with CTA buttons, and image on the right-hand side. We also like it to add some cool background animations, use some feed and animated background elements floating around. Now, not everything, I want to make that clear already. Not everything will be respected, but we're trying to be as detailed as possible. And we gave it also a little bit of information about additional content we're going to be in that heading section. Then we have a file item help section. So we have 4 boxes there. We want to use a placeholder link so that you can basically just link that after. We'd also want to add some cool box animations when the boxes are hovered. We have an about section, again, with an image, with some details. We want to add a popular video section. This could be obviously used for anything else, but we want to basically have here a slider with 5 videos in a box style. Again, we're using custom a demo link there. Then we have the popular resources section, and then we have a footer section. Again, this could be changed to your liking, but this gives you pretty good results to starting point. So what we're doing here is we're going to add a few colors in. So in this case, I added some of our Big Moves branding colors. So you can just color pick if you have an existing website, you want to paste that on. You can do that. Otherwise, you can, of course, go to any tool that can probably provide you a color scheme, or you can, of course, also just give a direction. So instead of a hex code, you could say, okay, main background color is yellow. The primary color, the main background color is a dark or is black or is a dark blue. The primary color is, for example, a green and the blue, and so forth. So further down here, that's what I did. Instead of giving specific hex codes, I just folded to add some additional colors with different tones of blue and green, maybe purple, yellow, orange, etc. So this is just to give it a bit of context. Then we have a color, the CTA color, which is the main primary colors. I want the primary colors to use for that CTA. But I want also that additional colors are added. Further down, we have some additional instructions for the website. We want it to be a personal brand and not a standard business website. We want it to be a dark mode, not a light mode by default, but we want it to have a light mode as well. And we would like it to have a light mode switcher so it can be switched between the two. Then we want to have the sections, not these more traditional sections where you have the straight lines that divides each of the sections, but it should be more of a smooth transitioning and use a faded gradient between of these sections to make it a bit more modern and look a modern feel and look. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this from here, and then we're going to head over to Bolt. Of course, if you do not have a Bolt account, you will need to open a Bolt Bolt account. So once you have set up an account, you will see something like this. On the bottom left hand side, you will have your navigation, similar like to other chats. And if you have previous chats, that's where you will be seeing here some of your previous chats. And inside the middle, you have basically your bots where you will be inputting this prompt. So let me paste this prompt inside here. In my case, I can see how many tokens I have remaining. So that is depending on your plan. You can see more or less of these tokens. Now, here we have two options. Just paste in the prompt and straight into build mode, or we go into the planning mode. Now, the difference is when you go into the planning mode, basically the AI will think about what to do, and it will give you a list of items it's planning to do. Now, what we're going to do in this initial starting point, we're going to just start into building. So let's go ahead and click the build button. So now you can see it's opening the actual editing experience. Now, this process can take, depending on the complexity of the instructions, 1 minute, 2 minutes, couple minutes. It really depends on how complex it is. So in the meantime, while this is starting to build out, we're going to look a little bit into a few things here on the UI part so that we can already get a bit familiar what is happening here. So on the left-hand side, you have the chats. Again, this is also where you give further instructions. Here you can see basically the steps it is taking, what it is currently doing. So you can also click this, and so you can basically see the details about what is going on. Then on the top left-hand side, you have you can create different teams, which is probably not that important. But here we can see the recent projects, for example. So you can access these and switch between them. You can have a version, see a version history. You can look at that a little bit further later. You can rename the project if you don't like it. You can duplicate it, and you can export it. Also open it in StackBlades, which is basically just another interface to see your projects. And then you have the visibility also, if it's public, secret, private, and so forth. Then on the right-hand side, we have here the eye, which is the preview. This is where the actual website will show up. Then we have the code, and this is basically where the whole code structure is going to be added. Then we have the database. And in this case, because it's a small personal website, we don't need to have a database. But let's say you're building a tool that requires a database. If you have an opt-in, for example, and you want to just collect the opt-ins in a database here, you want to be able to export it and not directly connect it to an external tool, then you could, for example, create a database. Or if you have more advanced tools with login where you need to have an authentication in order for accessing the tool, then you would also start creating a database. And so that's basically what the database is. We can also quickly take a look at the project settings. Here again, you can see the general settings, the name of it. You can see here also what AI model is using. In this case, we're using at the moment Cloud Agent. There will be codecs coming from ChatGPT later on. And then also there is a V1 legacy, which was the previous version of them, which I would not recommend to use at the moment. So later on, once we have the site published, we can also connect the domain. There will be basically analytics and further information down here. But for now, let's quickly add over into the tool itself again, because it actually completed some steps. So what we can see now, it started perfect. I created a beautiful personal branding website for you based on the Ali Abdel structure. And here's what I built. So it gives you a little bit of a breakdown what it has built. And you can see it starts appearing now. And it gives you just really a breakdown about what he actually has done, you know. And this one is your first history item. So you can start this, basically bookmark this. And this is, if you want to go back in history into the version histories, basically, this is the first step of your version history. Any other additional change we're going to do now within the chat will show up in this chat history, and you can jump back to it. So let's say you made a change you don't like, then actually you can jump back to that previous point. All right, so let's quickly take a look what it has built here. So he created, use my name here as the logo. We have a navigation here. So this navigation seems to be working and is linked to each of the sections. We have the light mode and the dark mode. So let's see, it's actually working. And please keep in mind, and I'll show you that in a second also when I show you some other examples that we've built out. It's not always working all the functionality. In some cases, the light mode, dark mode switcher does not work, but we can take a look at that in a bit. So we have a let's talk button up here, like requested. We have an image on the right. We have a headline. We have the subheadline. Then we have these items which are requested. We have the call to actions here with the main call to action is done in the primary color, like requested. Then we have the how I can help section here. We have these different boxes. They're nicely animated with different colors already. Then we have the my story section. What I do notice, for example, now on these titles, the emojis are or the icons are missing, which we have requested. So we need to see, we can refresh this quickly and see if they actually show up now. That could be happening. Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, my internet maybe for a sec. All right, so they're not showing up. So that's maybe something we want to address after. But here we have the watch your videos, the read book. These are instructions we gave it. We have the video section with a slider, so you can click those. So we have a few of these items inside. We have a watch more videos section here. Then we have the popular resources. Again, there's some animations. And then we have the footer with final call to action sections, like also requested, as well as the social icons. They are basically all here. So overall, we respected what we requested in the initial prompt. But there's definitely things that can be improved, right? For example, the spacing here seems to be a little bit large between the sections. So we could potentially reduce that. Of course, the image is probably not what we want to use here. So we could obviously replace that image with something else. And obviously we will need to start linking certain things out to the areas. So some of these, like these boxes, if you look at the bottom left hand side here, we can see that it added the my link demo placeholder link in some of these areas. So we would just need to start replacing these basically with what we actually wanted to use. Okay. So let's quickly go back here. So let's go into step 2 here. And in the step 2 now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a bit about using the visual editor. Okay. And it's not a visual editor like some of you might have experience with, like Elementor, etc. But this is more of a visual editor where you actually chat with it. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this select. And let's say we wanted to, let's take a look here. So we have here a relatively large spacing. So what we could do here is we can select this, and I would say, instead, let's change the hero section from full browser height to a heading of a heading like section like the other sections, right? The other sections have. So let's try this. So at the moment, if you look at this, it's basically resized. It's using the entire height, right? So what we don't necessarily want that. So we want maybe just have a little bit of padding here, and then we want it to start, and then right away see the next section here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select here, give this information, and then we're gonna basically click enter. So the AI is now thinking what it should do. And again, each of these requests can take, from a couple seconds up to more time, a minute, two. It really depends on the request, on the complexity of it. It will a little bit take more time. But in the meantime, again, it gives you the a little bit context what it is actually doing. But in the meantime, we can already think about what else do we want. So one of the things we saw here is, okay, it seems like we can't see these icons, right? So what we can already think about is how are we going to phrase that next? So we're gonna, for example, we can start already preparing that and saying the icons on the pre-title are missing. Please add for all pre-titles and icon. So as you can see now, it did actually reduce the padding here to like requested, and it's not the full browser height anymore. Now, of course, if you'd like that the way it was, you didn't have to change this, but it will allow you with a simple command to change that. So let's run this next command, and you don't necessarily need to always select. You can just give it also a information. Now, what we're going to do with this one here, we're going to actually click the plan button, and we'll see what it does. So we're going to plan first. And in the planning phase, it's not actually doing anything. It actually analyzes my request, and then is going to give me a plan. Then I can agree to the plan or say, no, I don't want to implement that. So let's take a look what it does. So it's going to go, it takes a bunch of actions, get current working directory, a list of files. So it analyzes basically the code. And so it has an understanding of everything. And so you can see, perfect, I can see now the structure on several components with pre-file batches, elements, some have icons, but I need to check all of them. Let me analyze. So it actually analyzes all these, and great news, all the pre-files already have icons. However, let me verify if there is any other sections that I've missed, blah, blah, blah. All pre-title sections. Let's see what it says here. Questions. Are you seeing the website without icons? This could be a rendering issue with the missing code. So he actually asks me now questions on this. So what I could do now is I just typing, yes, the icons are not visible. Then number two, would you like me to suggest different, better icons? Or I like you to add proper colors to the icons so they become visible. So we're going to try that. And then number three, are there specific pre-titles you're referring to? Nope, all of them. So what we're going to do is basically reply to the questions. We're going to stay in the planning mode. And then we run this. So again, it's going to analyze and check my answers. And then based on that, it will say, okay, thanks for the clarification. I understand the issues. The icons exist, but are not visible because they need the proper colors. So let's see what it does. So it basically does a suggestion of what to do. So you can, of course, read through all these suggestions. We will accept these now, and then we click the implement button. So perfect, you can start implementing this plan. So that's what it does now. So it's starting to implement this plan. And while it does do that, we're already going to start looking what other things what we could change or improve. So I think one of the things I'd like to show you next is how to replace an image. And that will then apply to all the images. And it will also change a link. And then next, we can also change maybe a text for that matter. So now you can see it executes the plan on the left-hand side here with the steps update. So you can exactly see step by step what it is doing. And at the end, it will actually publish, not publish, it will populate these changes and reload the page. And then we should hopefully see those changes being reflected. What we also can do quickly is see the light mode if we can see these icons, but we can also not see it in the light mode. So it's not a dark mode issue per se, but a general issue that the icons are not visible. So hopefully this will make the icons visible, this change. In the meantime, let's go quickly to pixels. So what we're going to do here is I'll take the random of these photos. You can upload a photo. You can take any photo you want, but for this demonstration purposes, I'm just going to copy the link address from here. And then we're heading back over here. So the plan has been completed. And you can see now these icons are in fact visible now with different colors. So it did the job on the dark mode and as well as on the light mode. So one step better back here. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to go again into the select. We are selecting the top image and say, please replace, where is this image with the following one? Well, I just paste that link in. As I said, this could be also where you drag an image in. So you can upload images here. Here you can upload files, attach files. And basically based on that, it will then use that image instead of the image I just pasted in here. So let's run this quickly. And then next, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly take a look here. So these are both not linked at all. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pick one of these, and then we will be asking to add a link to that. So let's say we want to link this to google.com. So what we're going to do now in a second, once this change has been applied, we will be selecting this button, and we will ask it to send it to google.com. Let's see what is happening. And what you also can see while this is working, every time it finishes one of these requests, it basically adds a new version history. And if you are happy with a version, So what you can do is you can first of all rename it, and second of all, you can also bookmark it. So in case later on it makes changes that you don't like, you can always easily find that one that is bookmarked. Okay, so you can see the image has been updated as requested. So next, we're gonna click again on select. We're gonna click this button and say, please add a link to this button, and then we use HTTPS google.com and open in a new tab. So if you ask it also to open in a new tab, you should actually do that as well. So we're gonna send that request in the chat, and so we can see next what we're gonna look is we're gonna go after this request. We're gonna go head over to step number 3, where we can also do some of these changes right away in the code, right? So anything I've requested now. So if you want to change the title here to something else, you click on it and you request, please change update the text to how I can support you, whatever you wanted to write. So that's how you can with this select this visual editing feature, you can do that. And let's go away here. So now we can see this is linked to google.com. So any of these links can be basically treated like that now. So any of these existing links also, please update this link to whatever you want it to link. If you wanted to link it on the in the same tab, you can do so. If you wanted to open it in a new tab, you can request that as well. As I mentioned before, is step number 3. We're going to quickly go into the code, and we'll see how you can, for example, swap out a title. So let's say we want to change this my story about this is my story, let's say. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this text and we're heading into the code tab. You have here a search, and if I search for my story, well, then it does not read. That is interesting now. Why it's not showing that? So let's try to refresh this. Well, as always, none of these tools are perfect. So sometimes you have little hiccups, and then sometimes a refresh helps, and sometimes it doesn't. Normally, the search should actually work, but I'll show you otherwise also how else you can find it. So let's try again this same search here. So, okay, so I can let's try to just find story instead. Okay, okay. So the reason why I probably don't find it is the following. So in this case, we have story as a gradient, and therefore it's wrapped differently, and then you have my also wrapped differently. So and that's the reason here why you can see here story is basically wrapped inside the text gradient, and therefore it did not connect the two with each other. So which is why with only story it actually finds it. But so if we wanted to change this now, let's say this is my story. So we can actually update it right here. And then we can just save on the top right hand side, which I forgot before. If we save it and then we go back, then we can see now as this is my story. So, and this is basically how you can pretty much update any of these boxes as well. So if you want to not, keep in mind, anything you chat with is going to take tokens from you. Mostly these small requests do not eat much tokens, but you will take some tokens away from your account. Now, if you have an idea about certain of this information, let's say you want to change this text, then you can really just go into the code itself, you find it, and then you can actually, what I like to do is also press on a Mac, Command Ads, or Control F it should be for Windows, and then you basically can find it also here. Then you can actually within text of within the code itself. Here you can see right away. So let's just say we wanted to change this to um let's just say I want to change this to 50K. And you can see also we can maybe say even Instagram followers instead. So we're gonna save that again, go back here, and then it says 50K Instagram followers. So this is how you can basically change manually also anything relatively easy. I'll show you one more thing here, and that is actually the files. Most of the files you can ignore. You know, if you obviously have a little bit of experience, you can take a look. But the main files which are really relevant for you for this page is inside the components here. You can see there's an about one, there's a footer one, there's a hero one, there's a how I help, navigation, resources, videos. So of course, if you wanted to now make a change that is related to the hero section, right? Then you will go into the hero file, and then you can find the code if you read the things here. So founder of sales elevation, creator of the coding, all coaches, and so forth. You know, so any of these texts can be now tweaked. Important is just that you do not mess with the actual code. Don't remove any of the syntax. Don't remove any of these code elements because that could break the site. Now, because you're doing this manually, you're not really getting a restoration point. But always, obviously, if you make a change here and the site breaks, you can just go to the previous stack. You know, so it might make sense also if you do a lot of manual changes that you from time to time do an in between step with the actual chats, and therefore basically it's your new restoration points. You know, so that you don't lose too much if for whatever reason you make a mistake and the site actually breaks. So that's probably another good tip here to avoid some issues if you're not as experienced with the code. The other option obviously is always if you break something, you can take this whole content, just copy it, go into ChatGPT and say the code is broken, please fix it for me. And it will actually fix it. And then you just copy the whole thing back inside here and then save it again. And that also should address then that issue in most cases. All right. So let's go ahead over back here. So let's quickly take a look at the step number 4. And this is just a prompt which we have here that makes the site a bit nicer. So if we refresh here, so let's go to refresh the page, and this might be small loading. So if we see here what's happening, the everything just loaded, right? So we'll just come in here. There's no animation, no nothing happening between the sections. You know, yes, there is small animations when I hover elements, but there's not really any other animations going on. So what we have here is a prompt that you can use to make some of these things a bit nicer. So we're just going to paste that in. Now we're going to run it. And what this will do is it will actually animate the different sections. You know, so make the site feel buttery smooth and ultra polished on the page load, have the hero content softly fade in, and rise with a gentle scale up. Each element slightly delayed for a smooth starting entrance. Apply, scrolled trigger animations for each section with subtle fade up and slide motions using slow, easing curves. So what this is basically meaning is, first of all, when we load the site, the heading section should fade in. And then also when we start scrolling, the elements that come into the viewport should be slightly animated to give it just a little bit of an additional touch. And of course, this can be tweaked. You can use this. You can ask even ChatGPT, or any of these other tools to give you another animation. If you say, okay, I want to animate it to come from from the right to the left, or from bottom to up, and you could obviously add your own twist to it, and or even ask Bolt to suggest you something on how you can make this better, which is actually also a good way to communicate. So sometimes it's nice and say, hey, I would like to really optimize this site a bit further. Can you make any suggestions how we can make it better? And you could go into the planning mode while doing that, and it will give you actively suggestions how what you could do to improve the site further, you know? So let's see. It's going through reading the files, taking some actions, and shortly it should complete this. So it gives us a little bit about a breakdown, what it actually has done, and it's loading the page up now. So let's take a look what it actually does and what it looks like. All right, so you can see the things are now a little bit animated, not so static anymore. When it seems like it has not been applied potentially in all of the sections. Well, just gonna did it on the top section. It did actually also here. Oh, yeah, and it does also on these ones. So now after refreshing, it seems like it has applied it also on that. And this could be fine-tuned and tweaked even further. Okay. So we're gonna head over to obviously, look, there's a lot that you can do, but this gives you a good starting point on what can be done, and how ideas on what you could do. So here now it's launch time. Let's deploy the page. So what we're gonna do, we're heading over to the right hand side, and all we do is basically publish the app. So again, this is gonna take a little bit of time. What he's going to do is going to publish, and he's going to give us a URL to actually view the page. In the meantime, while it does do this, and it should not take very long, but in the meantime, let me show you a few other examples. So I ran this same prompt, which you see here, maybe small tweaked prompts, but very, very similar. So every time you can see it creates different results. It's not like when you run the same prompt over and over again, it is going to look always the exact same way, right? So in this case, we basically have a site that looks like this, that has some gradients, backgrounds, like these fade effects. It has these sections with slightly different colors again. It has multiple images here. There's a slightly different slider here with different colors and so forth. So then these ones, these are the previous ones. So we tried slightly different colors, So we used here instead of the primary colors, which is the green and the blue, we used here more of a yellow and orangey color, and therefore it gave us also these orangey yellowish colors. But again, we have some boxes here. The overall structure is always the same. Here we have a bit more colors on the buttons. We have some emojis here instead of regular icons. Here's a slider, slightly different variation. Again, with different button colors. Here are the boxes for the resources and so forth. So let's here is another version that it created. And okay, this one doesn't want to load right now. Maybe scratch this one. And here's another version without an image, with the previous prompt where we didn't add the image in with some boxes. But as you can see, every time it gives you slightly different results. And if you're really not happy with the first result, maybe you start over. You maybe start from scratch again. And if you're happy with it, you maybe continue using that. So for some reason, it's actually still publishing here. Normally, it's not taking that long. Okay. Here it actually is. So we have the personal brand. So if we click now this link, it will go actually to the site. So you can see here now the site is being published. So you could share this link now. I could share this link now with you guys or with anyone else. Now, if you wanted to connect this link though with a personal site, we again can come to the publish here. We can say buy a domain or add a domain on your own. So if we do that, it will actually open that up here and it will ask for a domain. So let's just say we own, for example, this domain eCoding.com. So it would actually, your primary domain has been added, but it's not yet functional. So basically, I added this domain now, but what I need to do is I need to follow the instructions. So first of all, you have here a link to a good instruction. So you can purchase a domain, blah, blah, blah. And if you follow these instructions, you can basically connect your own domain to it. So you can also follow this, resolve the DNS issues. You can see it gives you all the instructions you need to know, where you can copy these and add that into your domain registrar, basically to point this domain to here, and then you would actually use bcoding.com for this one. So that's basically how you can build a personal website and connect it to a domain. Now, I wanted to give you one more thing and show you one more example what you can build, because having this personal website is a nice start if you don't have one, if you don't use WordPress. Of course, builders like Elementor or Framer, Go High Level are much more powerful in that sense. You have, but this is giving you a fast way to build something nice, and you could even just build a concept. So we know a lot of our clients use now tools like this to just build a concept, to basically gives you a way to express your creativity or to build your and see, okay, what is possible. You could play around, and then before you even work with maybe someone, before you even want to hire someone, you could basically see, okay, what do I like? Of course, you can always go to other sites, but maybe you can take another site and build a prompt with your structure you'd like to have, with the elements you like to have, with the colors you like to have, and see how that looks like, on a site like this. And then you can then go and say, hey, can you build me something very close to this? This might help you to work faster with someone and potentially even get a better price, right? Out of this. But where really the power also lies of these AI tools like Bolt, Lovable, etc., is building apps, building full-fledged apps. And I just wanted to quickly show you an app I built because I needed to study for a driver's license. I've been driving for 30 years, of course, but I still had to redo my license here in Taiwan. And because I'm also from Liechtenstein and they don't have a corporation. So the long story short, I needed to make a local license. And I didn't like to study with their PDFs. It was not efficient. So what I did is I created a tool where I can basically have true and false or multiple choice questions in this format pasted in here. What it did then create me a card library with all the questions. So I have the questions, the answers, everything inside here. And then I could create my own study session. So I could basically here select now a bunch of different questions, and I can say create a study session for me. Okay. So let's just create one as an example here. And it creates these study sessions for me. I actually can see, okay, answer them. And I could, if I wanted to, while I work, I can reveal it if it's correct or not, or I just go for it. And so let's just finish this quick one. It's just 3 questions anyway. So let's select that. And then I hit a complete session. It will then tell me how many questions I got right, how many questions I got wrong. I can see exactly what I done. I can restart or study only the wrong questions. I can see a breakdown of previous sessions I have done, and I can see, okay, let's see here, 85 correct. I can see then, okay, I got 85 overall score, 30 4 questions I got correct, 6 1 I got wrong. I used 23 minutes to actually answer them. I can see correct ones, the wrong ones. I can study them. And I built some cool features in where I can even bookmark them, filter them, and so forth. So like this is the power of where you can build things. You have kids, you want to build a study app for your kids for a certain thing. Yeah, you can build it now, relatively easy. Now, this took me a bit of time, but I added tons of features. But you can build very simple versions of this relatively fast. And that is the beauty of these tools. And it's very, very exciting because you can even, if you have an idea in your head, you can try it out. You can create a prototype, an MVP. And then once you have the MVP, you could basically send this to someone and say, hey, I want to build this. What does it cost? Actually build it. The cool thing is also you can connect this to external sources, Supabase, GitHub, and so forth. So the code what you started building here can be used actually outside of this tool. So it's not just tied into this tool. And I think that is what this makes it really, really, really exciting, along with the options that you can build a prototype of a site you want to build, an idea. Maybe you have an idea for a calculator, you have an idea of a directory, and all this stuff you can start playing around with and trying to bring your vision alive and then give it to other people. For me, I have so many ideas in my head. To be able to get this more easily out and faster out is very, very exciting to me and very fascinating. Well, let's go back here quickly and we deploy it. I want to just give you a little bit of a closing remarks here on this session, which is be patient. These tools are not perfect. They're not, but they are pretty amazing. And be very specific. If you have a little bit of an idea about CSS or how to inspect code. So for example, for me, and I'll just show you that quickly, is I like to sometimes make the right click and inspect. And just by inspecting, I can understand sometimes a little bit some of the classes that's being used. I can some get some ideas. And therefore I can give better instruction. So if I select here, I can see, for example, what kind of spacings is used, or maybe I can specifically say, hey, change this to another spacing level, and so forth. And so it's, anyways, be specific, be patient. It does sometimes run in a hamster wheel. Don't give up, just don't give up. Use also Claude, use ChatGPT, use Grok to help you on top of this. Ask you some questions. Maybe share the link, publish it, and share the link, and say, "Hey, you want to change this?" If Bolt maybe is stuck, because it can happen that he gets stuck. And the other little tip I would say, two more little tips is sometimes it's also good to duplicate the project, to just have when you do that, it kind of erases the chat history and it can kind of start fresh in that sense. But you have the starting point of the project. And the other cool tip, sometimes if you want to just ask a question, just answer. So you're asking, for example, what do you think about removing all these pre-titles? And then what do you think about removing the pre-titles? Just answer. So we don't want it to do anything, but we want it just to answer it, letting me know what it thinks, And this is basically then a way how you could also get it to exactly do that, because you are not in planning mode, but you don't want it to do actually something. I think removing the pre-files is the small batches, icons, blah, blah, blah. And it just gives you a little bit of feedback on what it thinks. And of course, you could do the same with other tools like Bolt. So just want to bring those little closing remarks. Again, be patient, be very clear, and just have fun enjoying experimenting with the tool. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the session. I wish you a great day, and until the next one.
Thanks so much for this awesome demo, GP. This was really, really valuable. And I'm sure if you're watching this session, you can go out there and build a stunning personal website with AI pretty quickly using Bolt. Be sure to leave your biggest takeaways. If you're inside the AI Creator OS program and community, you can leave your takeaways there. If you want to hear more about this, learning about different AI website builders and coding tools, do let me know, because there's quite a few, especially when it comes to building websites using AI. There's Framer, has been around for quite a while. Beehive, they have integrated AI into their website builder too, and the newsletter platform. And the Elementor, which we use for our Summit website and Creative School, also got AI. So you can experiment with these different tools. We wanted to demonstrate Bolt in this session because it's quite versatile. You can do more than just websites. Actually, it's probably even more useful if you're building apps and tools and stuff like that. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed this session, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Ciao for now. Bye.